It's like that's how you, before in the past, that's how you had to get noticed. And nowadays, teams are willing to take risks because they understand like you don't need all veterans. You need maybe 1 or 2 veterans, and then you need shapeable multiple players that don't really have any preconceptions or biases about the game.
But it's successful teams that have driven that as well, isn't it? I noticed we've got the draft up. I just want to finish on this point. The likes of Secret, who've put those super teams together with experience and maybe a little bit of new blood. Liquid, same kind of thing, bit of new blood around experience. OG, same sort of thing, picked up new blood, added to the experience. That seems to be a successful formula, so why not follow it?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about Dota especially is the more professional and the bigger it gets, the more that we see it almost mirror these like real life sports where in the past, I remember the idea behind coaches was like, if you weren't a former player or a former pro, like a tier 1 pro, you cannot be a coach. Like there's no, don't even bother about it. And now we see coaches popping up everywhere. And in the past it was like, what do we need a coach for?
Yeah, I mean, even Fog could be a coach.
Exactly. No, maybe not, but.
So our spirit picked up. Done with you, Paul.
Hey, that was Will. That wasn't me.
Hello.
We're into the draft.
Will once said that he would want to co-coach with me. So you know what? That was you,
okay.
Paul.
All right. That was all me then.
You're a butthole. So same opener. Exactly identical stuff from Navi.
They're just like, you know what? This was not the problem.
They did this yesterday too.
Run it back.
Didn't they? They lost a game with their draft and they picked the exact same thing right afterwards, right?
Almost.
It was
the opening 3, I think, were the same.
It was it was the same opener. It was they lost with Chen or Spirit and then they picked Chen or Spirit again. And then they won that game. So they're always just still confident. I've seen that from them a lot, actually, too. I think I saw it in StarLab in a bunch of games, too. They had an opener, and they just did it again, even though they'd lost with it.
One time I casted a game it was Empire versus OG, I think, like way back when. And both teams drafted, and I'm not even kidding, like they just ran back the lineup.
Yeah,
it was like
exactly the same lineup.
It was
I think I did that game with you.
I was like, what's going on? Like, why is this? And it's just kind of like a weird, stubborn thing where one team is like, yeah, we can win this if we run it back. And the other team's like, well, you know, I guess we won with it, so let's do it again.
So let's do it. Yeah.
And that's why I think VG Thunder, this is only their 2nd pick, but I think they're a little bit like, really? Like, do we just DP again?
Yeah, I mean, I always felt like...
Whoa,
all right.
That's pretty early.
Yeah.
That is
does allow them 3 picks to do something about this time.
Okay. 3 heroes. That's a 2nd pick game. That means that they were confident that Navi were going to 2nd phase it. And VG.J Thunder, they did this yesterday too. They're like, Bloodseeker was the hero. Like, we're going to run with it. I like it. I like the confidence. But now your bans matter so much more.
Yep.
Do they ban the Bloodseeker?
What was their 3rd ban? Sven?
That one is Sven, yeah.
You know, certain teams don't mind AM versus BS because they don't feel like AM loses to BS and farm.
Yeah.
It was... Liquid had that idea too. It didn't seem like they cared too much. I think it matters more around the offlaner and the support. And if you know that's an offlane clockwork, then it's just like, why not run it back again? And you know that's a 4-position Ricky, do it again. That means that the carry position though is going to be even more important for Navi. Like they need a carry that will scale equally as well as anti-mage. Alk?
I said it very quietly because we haven't seen much Alchemist recently.
Thank God.
and I was going to add to that, and I know how much it tilts Fogged.
I mean, Alchemist. We saw a lot of Alchemist the last time I was here with you, Paul.
Oh, jeez.
It's every game. So ban out the Dendi Lina, so banning out the comfort. The 2 most comfortable heroes that Navi does have, the Sven and the Lina for Crystallize / Dendi. And what does Navi want to go for here? Are they just... Okay, so they go for Rubik now.
They need damage though.
Yeah.
Lift is nice, and you still blink always on AM. So those 2 parts are kind of okay.
But Earth Spirit spells are not good.
Yeah, Earth Spirit spell. It's an okay hero against AM, and it doesn't reveal too much.
That's true.
Because you still have to counter their mid.
But now you know for sure what all the roles are. I guess they have to show their cores anyway, but they show their supports. They show their offlaner.
I think you should take your 5 right now. Or I guess you're taking your 4. Like, who cares about 5 heroes anymore?
They just take Bounty again? Okay, they go for Disruptor this time
around. That's a nice Disruptor pick. I like that.
Disruptor, Earth Spirit. Seen that a lot in the past.
Yep. It's very popular for these two Fader now.
You need heroes that can fight 4v5 without the use of the anti-mage. That is what I will always say. And they were able to do that last game. That's what DP was so strong at. And their support duo was just like aggressive. They just ran in, didn't really care.
Rubik really doesn't have good spells to steal. Disruptors are pretty hard to get like what you want. You can get Glimpse, which is nice, but stealing Static Storm is pretty unreliable.
Yeah, what does Na'Vi take then? They need a mid and a carry that work well. What is that? Troll? Okay, Troll's quite nice. Troll is always okay at dealing with AM. But I would really like another lockdown spell for them. And conversely for Thunder, they can show their offlaner now. What do you take here? There's Beastmaster. You can take stuff like Tide, Shaker. I think you just need Teamfight. Batrider.
Yep.
One of the heavy troll counters. Batrider and Earth Spirit, these two heroes make Troll's life miserable in the laning phase.
Very popular pick for Yang as well. We saw him play the Darkseer in game 1. That's his most pick. That's his second. So.
But of course, Troll is a much better scaler. I do like him better than the Void in a lot of ways. Because he can hit, he can Roshan, he can fight against the AM one-on-one without his ulti or anything. But you do need a mid, I think, with more control. Because I think...
But what is that, though?
It's
pretty minimal.
Is it?
The options.
You can do DK?
Like maybe like OD or DK? OD's... I still feel like they lack damage. It's really only the Troll who's going to be doing damage. But they need control, too.
I think it's a lot better this time around. And they get the last pick, too.
It's true.
So Thunder need a mid themselves. They need a fighter. Maybe they can take a DK themselves. Mirana would be sick too.
I do like Mirana, definitely. A little catch. They've ran Ember before. It's one of his more popular heroes for freeze too. Ember, Storm. If they really want to take it to that level, but they want fighters, like you said. So I don't think Storm's the option.
I think Storm's kind of annoying to play against Riki as well.
Yeah. They banned the Mag because of that Troll, and we've seen Na'Vi run Mag Troll countless times again.
You know, hero would be really sick. They took Viper.
It's banned.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they take Necro. That's weird that they took Necro against Clock Riki. Isn't that annoying to play Necro against Clock in general?
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw that yesterday, but it's they want to be able to fight constantly with just the 4, right? And it's still good versus Troll Warlord. He needs a lot of items to really be able to focus fire now.
Yeah. So Na'Vi. Okay, you see everything. Dendi, your hero has to pretty much
win the game.
It has to win the game. I think the same issue. So the last game that we played, or they played Paul, it felt like they didn't have enough wave clear. Did you feel that way too,
yeah.
Giannis? Like, so that it was harder for them to make plays.
Do they just go for the Queen of Pain here?
Like they don't have a rough quap game.
It looks like a really rough quap game, but I mean, I'm not seeing many options that just Dendi plays because he usually just sticks with his comfort heroes.
Yeah, he's Alina, Quap, Brood, Tiny Zeus. Those have been the most popular picks for him in the last 2 months.
I don't know if you can do Brood.
I don't think Brood's banned still.
Yeah,
there's like 50 counters to him too.
And the Pucks.
Maybe Puck.
Yeah,
maybe Puck is the option.
I mean,
yeah, that sounds like it's
quite a few games as well.
AM don't care Puck.
Nope.
That's such a funny second pick AM. Like
old school TA.
We saw like we're talking like as if there's a bunch of counters and then everyone's struggling to think of a counter. Because you have to do it.
Because you're mid laner. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think
makes
it's
it a lot harder.
I think it's a lot easier to counter when you're like a 4 or an off laner. Is where
it's
it
definitely
has to come
more rock paper scissors at that end. Here we go.
It is the Mirana. Okay.
Yep. That was one of the earlier suggestions as well.
Doesn't suffer as much versus the anti-mage. Isn't an in-hero that just gets punished super hard. Mixed damage, physical and magical.
Also worked very well yesterday in the combination that they had. I don't necessarily think it was all down to the Mirana, but they definitely went late game against the AM yesterday. Right, gents, predictions now. Once you... Well, we pretty much do see who's playing what as well.
I like Thunders a lot more. I think this like first 2 AM really worked out for them.
I think Thunder is going to knock Na'Vi out.
Yep.
Really? Why?
Because I think that Anti-Mage is a cool hero, and I think he's going to win. Like
I think there's a lot of counters to the Troll as well. I think there's a lot of catch for the for both Mirana as well. I And I think Troll needs so many items. He needs Defusal, needs BKB. Just takes a really long time for the hero to get online.
So VG.J for you?
Wait, I change.
Thunder.
I think Navi's going to do it. I think they're going to Roshan early and pull it off.
I'm cool with that. Let's go.
Okay, all right. Well, he spiced things up anyway for us. Bit of madness here at the panel. They've gone split decision on this one, and it's split right now in terms of the scoreline. 1-1. One of these two teams is going home. The other is marching on to the last game in the group. Who's it going to be? Let's find out as we rejoin the commentary team for game number 3.
You know, most of the time I trust Blitz's mindset. But watching Havors try and high-five the rest of Na'Vi, who really didn't seem to give a crap, I don't know if I'm along with that. If Na'Vi actually have a strat they're comfortable with, this does not seem like that strat.
It's more like they don't have any good heroes to deal with AM. I thought they were going to pick Bloodseeker because it was open in the second phase, but they didn't, which is weird because he's one of the best AM counters.
Yeah. They don't grab it, but then you'd have to run Dendi mid Bloodseeker versus...
Well, they got to easily replace it with a Troll.
Yeah, true. You could have switched Troll to the mid.
Or not pick Troll, which is generally the strategy that other teams go with.
You'd actually think that it would be Na'Vi who would be the ones in front after they saw like the Anti-Mage as a first phase pickup. It's like, oh, we've got all this time to properly counter him. And then they went through their entire draft, and you're like, okay, well, did we?
Or you could just do what Liquid did, pick Huskar and just push. That's fine,
that
too.
That could work.
Yeah, they just end the game in 15 minutes, like idiots picking AM.
Well,
they're
coming for a fight. Roger's on the front lines. They're going to need the extra control. Here comes Spirit as well as Necro up, but while Roger's moved forward, the smoke is broken and the rest of Na'Vi have backed out. If they kept committing to that, then you get the telekinesis grab.
They don't know how many heroes are behind. You want to get chased down?
Well, Na'Vi had all 5 heroes there, and then half split to move forward and half split to move back.
Well, they don't know how many people are behind the Necrophos. This is very far to chase too.
Yep. Well, the worst thing that could probably happen to them right now is Fate puts down the Sentry Ward to try and counter the Rune Steal.
Nah, he won't.
Yeah,
he'll drop it in mid.
Karma is right on top of the rune area. Roger's trying to grab it. Well, actually, he got it. He actually took the bounty rune from the Necro.
The thing is, even if you drop the Sentry, you're not guaranteed to get the rune. So I think it's much safer to just drop it in mid. So let's see the lane matchup that they're trying to give. Yang is going bottom. General will be taking a safe lane. And there will be another aggro lane in this series with Troll Warlord being aggressive versus AM.
Yeah, Troll and Rubik together versus the AM. But then it's a duo versus duo. Roger's going to rotate into mid. There's that Sentry Ward you were talking about going down, so Kama can know he has to back up. Unfortunately for VG.J, the Sentry was just out of range of the Observe Ward planted down by Roger. But Kama's got to be careful about this.
Freeze, hello? Put your Share Tango into your inventory, not your backpack. That actually matters at this point in the game, especially since he's getting harassed so much. Please, switch. Anyways.
You sound triggered.
Okay, he moved it. Well, he's gonna be like, why can't I eat my tango? And he's like, oh god, it was in my backpack the whole time. And then he's already gonna have a tough lane. You need every little advantage you can get. Considering Murana already has 8 CS and he has 2.
Oh, look at VG.J just switching their lanes up. Sila's on bottom lane trying to farm cogs. Crystallize will rotate down and VG.J get the matchup they really didn't want to have. Anti-Mage versus Troll. General will be forced to head north to work with Snakeo. Well, the Batrise had a good start. Probably the better thing for Na'Vi is just the fact that Dendy's managed to find 10 CS in this mid lane.
So slow. 285 clarity, come here.
Don't have the movement speed.
Nope. He could get chased out. He's in a really compromising spot in the river right now.
Let's just jump forward. They're going for the 2-minute rune. So Roger who gets the regeneration. Dendi doesn't have arrow available, does have leap, and this will be first blood. Roger will end up spilling it. Starfall's also available for Dendi. You probably wanted that regeneration rune, but you'll be happy with getting first blood onto your Riki.
He was so far out there. Doesn't know where the Riki is though, but that is a problem. How to deal with Invis heroes?
The only small trade-off is the fact that the the Earth Spirit was able to pick up both of the bounty runes. So at least he's keeping up a little bit with his experience.
They do draw the sentry on the bottom. It didn't deward anything, but it will keep eyes on the Riki, which is pretty important for them.
Yeah, because it's right on top of the Observer Ward.
Yep. Necrophos actually came back in CS. I don't know what happened in the last minute that allowed him to get 12 to Dendy's 4, but
He had a creep wave and a half pushing into the tower. So just was able to time the last hits on that. Probably easier when you got that level 2 Death Pulse now.
Clock has to be a little bit careful. He still can die in that lane.
Bottom lane, rolling boulder forward. Fade's gonna miss. There's a level 2 Earth Spirit only. And you do not have the glimpse on Io to get that drag back onto a hero. And instead it's gonna be Karma being initiated on the mid. Star falls down once more. Necrophos. This time it's his turn to die. So this is why you don't go against Blitz. He felt something was right.
Please, Toby, it's been 2 minutes. Or 2 kills.
Always try and give a little more justification to our panel. Crystallize, real issues for him. VG.J initiating in nicely. The Whirling Axe is going to make it a little bit more difficult to get those proper hits in. But Crystallize, no mana. At least he's got the Tangos to regenerate with.
So AM's not having as good of a start, or as bad of a start rather, as last game, but their mid lane is doing very, very well. Again, Freeze seems to be having a pretty good edge in that lane, although he did fall very far behind after that death. Roger doing very well in his early game roaming too. I think he's significantly more farm than he was at this point in the last game. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, Roger. Observer and Sentry still giving the vision on him at the moment. He'll move up a little bit further forward. That's where they drop the secondary Sentry. And the last hit. Oh, there's going to be a support that takes that kill. Yang trapped inside the cogs, General. Well, he can't really do much more with that, however. A rolling ball to bottom lane. They can do something with this. Crystallize again with no mana, so they don't have to worry about the Whirling Axis this time around. So in fact, he's down to 1 Tango. And then trying to contest something in this bottom lane, he has to play the range game, which is not an easy thing to do. This is an easier thing to do. Close the distance. Roger can't attack. Ghost Route makes it difficult, but the arrow, only a 2-second stun onto Kama. So Kama can just Death Pulse and quite easily return the damage into Na'Vi. But they do this, then they burn Shrine.
He got his Ghost Shroud off. Nice reaction from him. Ghost Shroud off before the smoke cloud. He didn't last time.
And Yang's taking a decent amount of damage.
Oh, he lost his clarity. It's not good. Can't really farm up that stack yet. Gonna have to wait for Soul Ring. Might be a while.
They're going mid again. There's no glimpse. There's still only a level 2 Disruptor. That's initiation onto Kama, and he's not hesitating at all now. He had the Sentry Ward down, so they had the vision of the Riki initiating. But burns Ghost Shroud the second he feels he's being initiated on. Stack Ancients? Stack Ancients? Nope. They were there.
I think simply because it's the magic one, you don't want to. Because the Bat Rider can take it out. If it's a stack, the Bat Rider can still only kill the magic, those Prowlers anyways. So yeah, AM can kill it, but
yeah, not for a while.
Not for a while, yeah. It's gonna be like
rolling boulder forward, Crystallize, again Fade. A perfect double kick. The Fade bolt's reducing a large portion of the damage that they needed to kill off Crystallize, and because they pulled Fade back close to the tier 1 tower, both sides now thinking twice about the attack. And well, Courier, Roger, he has the damage with the backstab.
He did this exact same thing, very similar point in time, but he didn't have the phase boots in last game.
Oh,
so.
Hook shot mid. Cog's gonna hold Camera in position, and Dendy hits the arrow.
Ooh, nice
Camera will
try
fall
by
again. Sylar jumps in and gets burnt by the Cog.
He tried to tank the arrow. That's what he was trying to do. It was very close to doing so, but not enough wiggle room inside that Cog for Freeze to move out. Great hook shot. This is the kind of involvement that you want from your Clockwork. Much different pace for him than last game.
I think Yang's hoping for a kill there. The Riki passed underneath the Dire Sentry Ward. So he actually, he leveled up his lasso because of this. He was holding the point. Ricky's disappeared. They headed top instead. General and Roger in through the rear. There isn't a hook shot available, but they understand that Sylar, they're going to force a blink or catch him out. Meanwhile, Crystallize abandoned with this gank happening up on the top lane. You get that lasso, you get the control, and they'll get the kill onto Crystallize.
Nice use of the first lasso. They're actually doing a really good job of moving around the lanes too, kind of keeping them guessing where Sylar's going to be. And if they want to commit a lot of resources, they might just find someone who's not as important. I would say Batrider's a little bit less important, especially once he gets his Blink Dagger, and might even be a lot more difficult to kill because of the Firefly. So they're, like, Na'Vi are looking for kills, but not really finding it. Roger is constantly trying to scout around the map, but VG.J have been sticking together pretty well. They haven't been able to protect Freeze, though. Freeze has been the brunt of many ganks or gank attempts.
Well, give him time and the targets will start to change. For now, everyone's just happy to almost accept the status quo, get a pick off where you can.
So he's going for treads this game. There's a big dichotomy in terms of like what type of boots you build on Necrophos. It's like either the phase or the treads, and some people swear by one or the other. I personally like treads more just because I think you need as much HP as possible just so you can survive and then start getting some kills, Heartstopper people, and Death Pulse back up. Phase boost I think is nice in different situations in this game. Phase boost, for example, is not going to help you get out of the cogs, which I think is going to be a big problem in this game. He's going to have to rely on Force Step later, but generally I think I like the as tanky as possible on the Necrophos instead of as fast as possible. Just got to survive.
He's going to try and survive this mid lane. Roger's waiting for the right time to attack. That Dire Sentry ward now times out, so Roger can move around in Viz. The only downside is that tower provides detection all the way up to the edge of the mountainside. But they don't see on bottom lane. Smoke Gang coming in here from Yang. They're able to get that lasso onto the troll wall, even starting off with the sticky napalm, and they're going to scythe him down. Crystallize on the sideline for 35 seconds. A long death timer when you're only 10 minutes into a game.
Very good read by Freeze. Dodging that gank. Like, he was... You have to sit so far back, too, or else you'll get hookshot just like, ooh.
Fate
Nice.
kicks him out. There's 4 heroes from Na'Vi. Yeah, they wanted that. Some level of revenge.
That was really greedy by him. He knows that Freeze TP'd out. He's like, oh, free lane, right? But there's a reason why Freeze got out of there. Still, no loss in the tower, so no big deal for them. Just an Earth Spirit kill. And, you know, these small one-for-one trades around the map, I think, just greatly benefits Anti-Mage. You don't want any, like, huge scale brawls that results in, like, towers and stuff dying. You just want a little bit of poke, a little bit of prod. Just buy yourself some more time.
Well, Necro is headed back down to bottom lane to work with the Disruptor once more. Yeah, Roger is the only one here from Na'Vi.
I think when Sumail played the Necrophos yesterday, he didn't get the Force Up before the Hood, especially when playing against a Clockwork. It's super important to get that Force Up ASAP. So a little bit of change from some of the other Necro builds that we've been seeing. And especially important against like Smoke Cloud too. Like Smoke Cloud and Clockwork Cogs, there's really no reason not to get Force Step first.
Yep. Well, they'll get it. Just like Io's going to catch that 5-second arrow. Quick Starfall. You steal Kinetic Field while up on top lane. Crystallize. Trying to run out. Where's the detection? Rolling Boulder forward. ES brings in the dust. So Moonlight Shadow will not protect Crystallize. And Sylar committing his Mana Void to ensure the kill as well. So this is just a hard day for a Troll Warlord sitting at 5th on that net worth graph.
Yeah, it's already a bad matchup playing versus the Batrider, but he's going to need BKB. He's going to need a Diffusal Blade, and then he's probably going to need a farming item too, Mask of Madness for Vlad's. So it's going to be rough for him. It's going to be real rough.
What does Snako steal? Okay, you got the level 4 Death Pulse. While this is going on, Yang is starting to do his just a quick pull. Okay, Sylar wants the money. Yang was prepping this. Roger, hook shot over, going to work with General. The Cogs is down with the smoke screen. The Flame Break can only push one back, and it's not General. General had the battery assault still going, and Sylar will fall. What a nice time for Crystallize to rock up as well.
Nice try with the Flame Break, almost, but they had the Sentry Ward, but he really wanted the XP for those last 2 creeps.
Well, Couple of pickoffs for now. The advantage still holds slightly in favor of Na'Vi. 12 minutes in with like 1.5k gold and like 1.7 on the experience. It's not a lot to write home about.
Mirana's getting pretty big though, and she's gonna rush Diffusal to deal with this Necrophos.
No easy Ghost Shrouds. Well, they're gonna dust him mid. Roger, Scythe going onto him. However, Fade missed on the kick, so they didn't have enough damage to kill Roger quickly. But that's gonna be Scythe down for another minute and a half. While up on top lane, Na'Vi keep the pressure on. General was just taunting him behind the tower. They knew there was potentially a chance someone would defend this, but with the Firefly out from Yang, they didn't see enough. So back out with Yang, and then move down to the bottom lane.
They might be able to find Dendi here. He's really close.
Rolling boulder. They'll get the kick silence. Need a little bit more control. Remember, you still don't have the Scythe, so we can jump back behind the tower. Maybe there's enough damage with the Magnetize and the Flame Break to tick out even a lasso to ensure he would die. Snako tried to help out, but the Death Pulse chases him to his death. So 2 heroes down for Na'Vi, but pressure continuously being applied up on top. The tier 2 tower of VG.J is now going to be under threat.
A lot of free time coming out for Troll Warlord, but looks like Mirana will not be able to complete her Diffusal Blade too. So.
They're going to try and hook mid.
They need a Riki there. Okay, actually, yeah, Riki is there.
Yeah, he's there, but he was a little bit late. Sylar blinked down. So Roger can just stalk him for the moment.
Yeah, maybe the lasso was a little bit excessive, but they really want to make sure Mirana's dead because she's been by far having the best game of anyone else on Na'Vi.
She's worth the most as well for it. So yeah, no surprise at all, because it also gave the blink dagger to Yang.
Clockwork's showing though, so Sylar doesn't really care if Riki's on him if the Clockwork is showing.
They're coming over to fight. Leap won't save Dendi this time around. That's a level 3 glimpse, and they have the Static Storm available, so they almost want Dendi to start his leap. The Arrow Disruptor! For all the fantastic positioning he had in game 2, he basically walks into the arrow of Dendi, and Fade cannot get out of this either. So Dendi, you're feeding the beast. A double kill for him.
Where was a stun from Earth Spirit? He stunned with Earth Spirit, you drop the Kinetic Field and the Static Storm, and it, like, if you die, at least you'll get a kill on a Mirana. That would have. She still doesn't have her Diffusal Blade, so that would have been a pretty good
Was it
time for a kill.
Rox? Like, was Rox the problem?
Not sure.
Well, now you're going to lose your Batrider as well. Crystallize. Able to team up with the rest of Na'Vi to find that kill. And this is starting to escalate a little bit here. Obviously, you still have a farming anti-mage. He's got enough to pick up the broadsword. Scythe, Dendi, executed. Almost a minute on the sideline because he got hit by that Reaper's Scythe.
Still getting some good initiation for the Earth Spirit. Yeah, he didn't hit that stun earlier, but still doing a pretty good job. And General has just not been in the right position to kill Sylar. Like, Sylar has been getting away with a lot here in this game.
I'm wondering just how far they get away with stuff. And the primary reason why I'm thinking about this is because Blitz said, like, he's expecting Na'Vi to go Roshan early. I expect him to try and take it. And I just saw Necro pick up that Medallion of Courage. So if VG.J can have a decent opening and get some damage onto the anti-mage, losing the ES doesn't help with that, but the double storm, that really does with the Firefly and Sylar! Woo! Well, that was definitely a lot of mana missing from that Mana Void.
And it's perfectly reasonable that he KS's. Because he needs the gold badly. He really needs that. Battle Fury ASAP, and that puts him number 3 in net worth. That's pretty good.
It puts him 200 away from finishing the Battle Fury when before that fight, he had enough money only for the broadsword.
Yeah. And on top of that, the Necrophos is also getting a lot of farm too. I really do like the build that he's going for Staff we talked about earlier, but the Solar Crest I think is incredibly important. You're up against 2 heavy right clickers that rely mostly on physical damage. And you need a lot of tankiness because you're dealing with 2 Diffusal Blade carriers. So this armor, like, the alternative is Veil, but Veil is more offensive, and he just wants to survive in these fights. Again, my philosophy is as tanky as possible.
Where's that detection?
What a play.
Right now, Rogers in the back line. He's got the Observer and Sentry up the lasso. It's there. Dendi controlled for the moment. He'll throw the arrow out very far astray and scythed again. Another minute. He is down for. And they got the glimpse. The vision on Roger. Pulling back won't happen. A quick trick to the trade, but of course the glimpse still does carry through. A kick. They'll fight on top of the shrine, so regeneration is there. Nothing Roger can really do but die. And VG.J Thunder. Good back-to-back engagements for them.
I still don't really know what to think about Fade. Fade has some like really good plays, and he has some really big whiffs too. That was a sick play where he just immediately kicked away the clockwork. That set that whole thing up. That made Dendi overextend into the T1. And Dendi's mid game has not been on point in this series. He was #1 in net worth, but he's gotten like maybe 1,000 gold in the past 5 minutes. Gotten Reaper twice and still dead. Like, you need your Mirana to be on the tier of Nana's Mirana yesterday, just destroying the anti-mage, and probably that was some of their inspiration for the Mirana pick this game after seeing what Mineski was able to pull off, but he has not been able to continue and accelerate his farm and get away with the class cannon build like Nana was yesterday.
It's got this image right now of one-time Earth Spirit. Like, it's tough before metal bending and after metal bending.
I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate?
It's Avatar.
Oh, didn't see. Heard it was really good though.
It was. It's very, very nice.
Would you recommend?
Hmm?
Would you recommend?
I would definitely recommend to watch the whole thing. Anti-Mage is as close to Aang as you probably get. Except he's meant to be a windbender. Do you technically have a windbender hero? Like properly in Dota? I'm not going to count a Wild Wing either.
That's the closest thing I think you're going to get.
Yeah, so just random thought pop into your mind. Do you actually have a windbender?
Maybe Monkey King with the Arcana, because he rides on the clouds occasionally.
True, but then you can say Zeus is the same type of thing when he has the Arcana. It's like, hey, everyone gets to beat Dragon Ball Z.
That's true. I guess Zeus would actually be closer, because he deals with wind and air and electricity.
It's kinetic energy. That's him, but it's an electrical type, not a wind type.
Oh, another courier kill?
Maybe. Wait for... Yep. Money, money, money. Not delaying any of the items, however, but...
Do you think Lyrical breathed the sigh of relief for catching that?
Dude, Lyrical is a boss. Absolute boss. Replace him at every single event now. Rolling Boulder coming forward. Roger, trouble. The lasso helps set up on this one. And he will burn in the fire and the flames. Oh, General! He hookshot it through, hit the Ancients, and unwillingly goes into the middle of VG.J. The sight's coming down, the damage. It's not enough to get the kill, but it's enough to hold him there for the kill still happening. They'll glimpse back in Seneko. Na'Vi bleeding. Well, they may have another one. Sylar Crystallizer trying to kill him, but you can't.
That was, what, 7 hits without a bash, I think? Tough luck, Crystallize.
Even with one bash, I still don't think he's got enough damage. He would need 2, potentially 3 to get the kill on that AM.
Well, that's a chain feed.
It is tier 1 for a tier 1 tower trade-off. Disruptor's coming over, looking for a glimpse. As far as vision goes, they don't see Jack.
Rough game. Necrophos is getting... Now he's like, well, they can't kill me, so now he can go for a Radiance. And now they're going to have to deal with 2 big cores. Kind of your worst nightmare if you're Na'Vi. You're okay with dealing with a farmed AM because you have a lot of physical, but you're not okay with dealing with a farmed Necrophos and a farmed AM. Oh, nice one, Scriff.
We got the injured man here, Roger, being attacked in towards mid, just as we're actually saying Scriff is taking over, observing. General turns on the blade mail. VG.J were the ones to initiate, but they couldn't get the mark. Trick to the trade, making that Ricky Maru as slippery as Slark.
It might be close to time for Na'Vi to do Roach. I think if they don't do it now, AM's going to be strong enough to take it on his own.
Well, that Dire Observer, what they force-staff him in. He's in blink range now, Dendi. He's stopped to farm and now will lose his life for his supports coming in. The Troll Warlord with the range axis, but it doesn't do anything. Dendi, in the last 10 minutes, has probably spent 5 of them dead.
That's very sad if you're a Na'Vi fan. You really need Dendi to not be in the grave. I missed the Dota 1 end game score screen where you can see how much time you spent dead.
Yeah.
Because that
was an awesome stat.
It was.
You know, we should request that of our wonderful production here to drag that information out.
Time dead. How many times has he died already?
Yeah, it's 4 times now. But I think 3 of them have been to this. 2 or 3.
I think it was just 2. It's at least 2. It's either 2 or 3.
Yeah. Been a long time dead. 5 minutes may be an over-exaggeration. It'll be like 3.5. But 3.5 is still a bloody long time this early in the game. And from the man who was leading the net worth from a very long way, it's rapidly changed and actually pushed Sylar into the front now as far as the net worth goes. Seeing it over 10,000 alongside of him is the Necrolite. And Necro, well, you want to put him in the grave? Oh, he switched his build. Oh, that's a shame. He had Ags ready to go.
More armor.
And now he's going to switch it into Shivas.
You definitely don't want Ags.
He had it on quick buy. Mid lane. Oh, they burnt the dust. Roger's going to come back out, but they've got Storm. So, burn and electrocution.
The problem with Ags, it doesn't give you that much defensive capabilities, too. You're worried about getting BKB Zerg down, I would say. Like it might be okay in like the 28 through like 35-minute phase of the game, but what happens was they get BKBs, and your Ags is not very useful at all. Unless you have like sick lasso plays, but I think you have to prepare for the worst of your VG.J, or worried about in a BKB wars and just surviving. Again, survive, survive, survive.
It does seem kind of nice that like you get that blink lasso, you drag a target back, and you just scythe them straight away. Ensure the kills, you're already a number up, and then in 20 seconds later, you're going to have a back off cooldown. For now, Anti-Mage is the one being initiated on, but Sylar still rather tanky, even though he doesn't have the Manta style up just yet.
Doesn't even blink out.
He just has a crack at it, kicking up the side. They won't find anybody. They're all gone. No, wait, are they? Sentry Ward, Roger, being revealed. There's 2 Sentry Wards here as well. Roger, glimpsed a long way back, and, well, he'll trick to the trade, and already they're reading his position. Can't jump out too far. Jump to the Alpha Wolves, and where's the detection? Sylar's got it.
They have a gem now, too.
That they do. Over on the Batrider, I'm like, they're out of range of the Sentry Ward, but it's still enough when you got the gem.
So now it looks like they're setting up for Roche. Roche is going to be one of their best avenues to get back into the game. Not that they're... The network doesn't suggest that they're that far behind, but I think AM is quickly reaching that point where he is...
Repeating game 2?
Yeah, it's getting there. And they have the Batrider too. Like, Batrider is like ridiculously good versus Troll. What does Troll have anyways?
Troll just picked up BKB.
Okay, so he has BKB, so now the Shivas is like, I am heavily on board with the Shivas coming out from him. Like, he is just going to have incredible amounts of armor. And Troll doesn't even have Diffusal Blade, so... Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
VG.J is really questioning exactly where Na'Vi is. Like that rolling boulder from Fade was a counter initiation into initiation into Roshan. They must have thought someone from Na'Vi was giving it a crack because Troll was missing.
They're worried about the Roche though. Like,
yeah,
that the sneak in Roche is
and
very potent. Oh, Saneko,
3-man smirk. Roger's giving the vision they need. They have a Sentry Ward down as well. Spirit going to walk straight into it while the Blink Lasso keeps the Ricky controlled. General hook shots in, and the Cog Pusher. Disruptor, he'll get the Storm down, but not before Crystallize has a double kill. Looking over towards Sylar, the silence holds him there! Crystallize with a triple kill. BKB gave him all the immunity he wanted. Then he's fishing with the arrow. Yang, Firefly's gonna run out. He can force stomp in 2, 1. It's just long enough. Yeah, he'll get back into the base. But the tier 2 tower is claimed up on top.
Wow, imagine if they had gotten the gem. Still big plays coming out from Na'Vi. Great first uses of the BKB. And
can they get Roshan now? Actually, they got a double damage rune. Of course they can take Roshan.
This is really bad for VG.J. That fight was really awkward because they could have just sacked the Earth Spirit, but Batrider actually committed.
Their TPing over. Yang has himself Firefly. He's looking in. Roshan down to 3k life. Rolling boulder. Looking for the kick forward. Tricks the trade, causing problems. The Scythe doesn't execute the Rubik, however. They're still on the Firefly. Crystallize. He's finishing up Roshan. That double damage has done it so quickly. He can now come out and fight into Kama. But no, he's going to run himself away. Phase boots, not going to happen. Glimpse pulls him back in. They want to at least burn the Aegis Immortal. There's no Dendy. There's no Rubik. And Roger with a smoke screen. He's making it so there's no Death Pulse. Now they come in range. The Death Pulse is chasing. Crystallize will fall, and Sylar ready to fight. They have to hold him there. It'll help. The hook shot into the back lines, isolating up Disruptor. Io able to force up himself down, but Crystallize with the whirling axe. They're all in too close. They're not doing enough damage with a mischance as well from the Storm. Crystallize will finally die. VG.J, they're actually taking the fight after losing Roshan, chasing down Roger. He'll fall as well. So many streaks being ended. And Na'Vi, it looked fantastic for them. And then VG.J contest and actually win with no buybacks having to be expended. Let's see that again.
I love the balls on VG.J Thunder. I'm a big fan of their playstyle of, like, this is not a great fight. Anti-Mage is dead. Batrider almost dies off the start, but this DD actually, like, this fight would have gone so much more terribly if Crystallize hadn't had that DD. And then Freeze just walks in, he's like, he doesn't have Diffusal, I don't care. And that, whew, great glimpse. They forced the fight. Unfortunately for them, the BKB comes back up, or else it would have been a much cleaner fight, but they had a lot of trouble taking him down. The Flame Break was just slightly out of position, but he does get the lasso immediately after the Aegis revive. That was big. That was really close to Crystallize getting like an ultra kill.
Yeah. I still want to give props to Fade. He actually deleted 2 heroes at the start of that. Both Snakeo as well as Dendi had 0 influence in that fight because of his initiation, because of that magnetized control. Ricky's going to go down as well. Another initiation. Fade will actually take this kill as well.
Turns out Earth Spirit's been really good.
Yeah.
Around the Roche Pit.
What a nice hero. I remember some good moments from TI when that happened.
There's been some good moments from this tournament.
He's almost got Blink Dagger too. So positioning is going to get better and better for Fade. How's Tyler looking in his progression? He just bought the Basher. Next item, same progression as previous. Going to go into the Abyssal Blade with the Blink Lasso. They got a good target. The side holding him there and actually killing him. 94 seconds in the grave.
They're just getting all these crucial pickoffs too. The Batrider has just been everywhere. A great observer warning by VG.J Thunder, but just what, 2 Reaper kills on the Mirana in the mid game, 1 big Reaper kill after the Roche, and they've lost all momentum despite getting the Roche on.
Do you call this the bait, where it's like, you know, we're going to pick Anti-Mage in the first phase, we understand you're going to try and counter-pick us, then the troll comes up and you're like, Batrider, all right, we got this. We've got the counter to him, we've got the control, we've got our initiation.
Well, I don't really think that troll counters AM super hard, just because I think like AM just farms so much faster.
But there had to be the logic for the pick, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But also it depends on like the position 1. Could you ask your position 1, what do you think like counters AM pretty hard? But again, most teams would turn to Bloodseeker. That was by far the more popular choice during TI and the period surrounding. But player preference may have shifted a bit more towards Troll, but there's a reason why nobody likes Troll right now. It's because he gets destroyed by Batrider and many other heroes. And requires a BKB and a Diffusal Blade. Like, with Bloodseeker, you don't actually need either of those to do very well in the team
You
fight.
need to have Rupture.
Yeah, you need to have Rupture, which is great, which is just level 6.
Batrider's going for another gank. Blink Lasso, finding Roger, pulls him back, and it is open season on Rats.
Later, Riki. He still has, like, had, what, 2 career kills, I think? So he's maybe not, like, super in deficit. He's not, like, super deep in the red in terms of how much gold he's fed, as opposed to how much gold he's gained. But it's getting close at a point where he's been dying too much.
Yeah. He's been a big nuisance. Like, that's the upside. Like, when you think about the movement from Roger, like, he's always caused VG.J to struggle to kill him every single time. But Disruptor just drags him back. Like, as long as they get the glimpse, Tricks of the Trade doesn't protect you.
Yep.
And then the rest of Na'Vi, like, where's your follow-up? Like with the vision, at least you had Ancient Apparition was the combination. So you had like the Ancient Apparition to bring in the Ice Blast, 1 hero has to move over, and then you can find yourself a kill. But this time it gets the vision and no one wants to go in. You're not getting that initiation out from General. Again, you have this 4-staff plus Blade Mail, but he doesn't survive anywhere near long enough to kill anybody. And like, how do you even kill the Anti-Mage and the Necro? They're both insanely hard to kill.
Yeah, we talk about the core-on-core matchups a lot, and that's why we matched up the Troll and the Mirana versus the AM. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty good, but look at the items that Mirana has to build. She's going BKB and Linken Sphere because of the surrounding cast around it. This Disruptor, this Earth Spirit, this Batrider that's just been dumpstering them the entire game, and like he's just been put in the grave with no chance to even cast anything.
This is when you're going to learn from the Mineski Glass Cannon Mirana. We come in and actually do the damage.
that requires extremely precise positioning and farming patterns.
Yep.
And Dendi in game number 2 and game number 3 has been quite underwhelming in the mid part of the game on those two fronts.
But as you said, like I think you said it before we even started this series, you just like watching VG.J play because they draft to win. They don't just draft to compete.
They play to win. Their smokes are like a lot of teams. It would be just be super YOLO and out of question. They don't want to take that risk because there's a lot on the line. There's major points on the line here. Your berth for TI starts very early on in the year, and like if you don't qualify later on in the year, it's like, okay, what if we had done better in these tournaments? So like you have to play really hard, and
even to make your qualification period easier, you get a good result. These minors, that's direct invites into the next wave of tournaments. That means you can actually get to more tournaments without having to go through the very risky area of qualification.
But more importantly, I think they take fights that are like 30-70 against them, and they still take the fight just because they prefer a 30% chance now to a like 5% chance sitting up their high ground with the shrines. And it's just way more unexpected too. You don't expect, like, normally you're like, we're stronger right now. We, like, for example, when Navi smoke is like, okay, they have the BKB, it was a very good time for them to smoke. But for Thunder, it's much harder to read when they're going to make these plays and when they are going to take these, like, stranger fights. This one a little bit more obvious, perhaps, it seems.
Yeah. It's also funny, like it's obvious to Navi, but you look at their wall positioning, oh wait, Yang, okay, well, he's got an opportunity, the Rubik, but Talik just grab a 5-second arrow. Fade trying to create a little bit of extra space, but he cannot space create in that. Fade has to rolling boulder himself out away from Navi. As you said, Gem of True Sight, switch up, disruptor, bash.
First hit, bash. Makes up for his ill luck in the other matters. Bat can't do that without BKB. You get, well, I mean, he just got lifted and arrowed. There's also so many other things like Cog could have happened, Smoke Cloud could have happened.
That's that 10% play?
Yeah, that's a low percentage play right there.
It's just funny, like the way Navi approached the, like even their warding, their mentality, like two aggressive observer wards, both planted around the same time on the bot lane. So they understand anything that's happening on the far east of VG.J's side. And this gives them enough information, they understand how they can push. But Sylar is a tier 2 for a tier 2 tower. He's ready to threaten the top lane. But now they're back up, and we'll see a little bit of a change in Sylar's build compared to the anti-mage in game 2. He's going to go for the Assault Cuirass.
He went AC.
Did he go AC in the last one?
Yeah.
I remember we had Skadi and...
AC.
And it was AC?
Yeah.
Okay, no change. No change. I am tripping balls.
No, he went AC so he could survive during a Chronosphere.
True.
And they already had a Solar Crest on their team, just like this game, so he didn't want to double down on the evasion. Yeah, similar build. I don't know if he'll go for Butterfly next. Or, sorry, I don't know if he'll go for the Skadi next.
Well, Skadi, as you said, like it was meant to be the HP so he can survive in the Chrono. But is he having that same kind of problem?
Well, it's also anti-BKB, and they are going to have 2 BKBs.
Ooh. Navi looking for opening. They're all smoked up. Here flies the arrow, fly astray. VG.J does see it for a small second. And this is the reason why Necro blinks away from the smoked up Crystallize.
But they aren't on top of their shrine, though, so this is not a great place for them to fight. If they want to take a fight, like Necro with Ghost Shroud on Shrine, impossible to kill.
Yeah.
Like, you get stun lock on it, you get 5-second arrow on him. If he has Ghost Shroud on Shrine, it's just not happening.
They don't even fight it, though. Like, they just leave the Observe Foot behind, wait a reasonable amount of time to see if Navi's going to come in behind them. They don't do so, so then attention turns. They push in the top lane, and they can move towards Roshan.
They need another gem, though. Okay, they already actually repurchased the gem. That was fast.
They bought it directly after the fight when they lost it.
That's smart.
There was no delay. Poor Fade, the man who's been the sacrifice. He's the one who bought it.
Worth. Better than buying 9 Sentries.
Roshan's up in 3 seconds. Someone's going to hang around for 3 seconds to check Roshan.
So Necrophos does have buyback. They could potentially, like, put him out in front. Sylar has no buyback. He just bought his AC, so I don't really think you want him out on the front lines. And I think Freeze is much less likely to die, although they do have the secondary diffusal completed on Troll Warlord, so that's a little troublesome. So let's see if they get lucky with a double damage and blessed with an easy Roshan.
We'll have to wait 1 minute for it. Roshan's already up. So left a dire observe ward near the Radiant Ancient, so they can see if Na'Vi wants to move over, and they're checking for Na'Vi vision anyway. But again, Na'Vi's only 2 observer wards are still on that bot lane.
Yep. And VG.J have also placed that observer ward again, that very nice observer ward that had caught out the troll last time into a Reaper. So this one is, they can have a support sit there in the trees and pop the smoke if they'd like. But look at the Earth Spirit too. He's kind of perched on the left side in case there's a smoke coming wrap around, and there's a bat right on the south side.
And now they see the TP. Yeah, that's a very smart cancel.
Yeah, but they're preventing like all the angles possible. You know, this is a sign of a good team. They prevent the most disastrous situation. I say that, and then in game number 2 they got rocked, or one of the games they got rocked because they weren't actually prepared around the roast. But this time they have the damage to back it up.
Yeah, game 2 was the bounty hunter always being prepared for them. But you see the difference between like what VG.J do and what like Na'Vi was doing, where you're asking the question like, did you need to have Ricky inside the pit? Did you need to have that? Where VG.J is like, well, okay, we got a disruptor. We'll leave him on the back lines to throw the ulti out. ES is the jump initiator. And with Blink Dagger, he can move from the shrine over as well, so they could fight at both the ancient and the shrine area.
Yeah, their positioning around the roach is just much better. Like and they pop smokes, most importantly too. Once you pop the smoke, you're not sure what's going on over there. It's like, is it just one support? Is it all 5 of them? Is a Bat Rider about to jump me? There's like all these things running through your head at the moment.
Yeah.
Because one hero is in a different position than sitting inside the pit, which is the worst. You don't want support sitting inside the pit. You're like 80 damage a hit is not going to do anything.
Sylar has actually got the Skadi in his quick buy, so he's going to go exactly the same build as last game.
I'm not sure if he's going to complete it, though. Scotty is good versus BKB, but he still can't man-fight a troll because he doesn't have MKB, nor does he have evasion. So I would say Butterfly or MKB is much better in terms of straight man-fighting. Scotty is...
Unless all he wants to be is just that frontliner, the sponge.
Yeah, I still think even then Heart might be better. If you're purely looking to survive, I think Heart might be better because he can get a Solar Crest thrown on him for the extra evasion. Yeah. So that, I think, leads to the highest EHP that you can possibly have. But...
Teddy hits arrow. Woo! Sorry, I'm trying to give Na'Vi fans something to cheer for.
They're not that far in the hole. They just... Like, without the evasion on the AM... The troll still wins the man fight. It doesn't matter if he has Scotty because he's not going to be able to attack.
Yeah. But with Bat Rider jumping around with his initiation, he's still shy of the BKB. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. Arrow, Fade's going to cop a 3-second one. Almost trying to bait in a fight, it felt like. Grabbing the arrow so Sylar can initiate with Abyssal Blade. But he hit the one target he can't go on. Dendy with the Lincoln Sphere protected him.
Yeah, so let's see how they deal with this. Last time they had a lot of trouble with the Lincoln Sphere, and now it's going to be on Yang instead of Fade to deal with the Lincoln. He has to like blink, BKB, pop the Yules, lasso them, and then Force Staff before they can pop their BKB.
This is the reason why Fade's buying a Force Staff. He's just like, I got this, boys. I got this.
This is going to be really tough for Yang to pull off. But certainly possible. Ooh, double damage on the bottom rune.
Especially you can always just use the insane range of Glimpse. But
it's too obvious.
It's team fight coordination galore.
You generally want the same guy to do it just because it's a lot safer to get the instant pop. Like instant pop into instant cast. It's really hard. It's much harder for 2 separate people to pop the Lincoln and then the Blink Lasso to come in at the same time. So, but at the same time, like it's also a little bit... It's tough on timing if you have 2 different heroes, but it's tough to execute if it's just one. So you kind of have to balance it. But I would say mostly it's just Bat Rider doing it. But as soon as they see the Lincolns pop, they're going to be like, I'm leaping out, I'm popping my BKB.
Yeah. Timing must be flawless. But hey, that's what we want to see. Flawless Dota, if possible. And Animage is soaking up the mid as well as the top lane, keeping him pressured in. All Clockwork can do is send that rocket down to bottom lane and keep that pressure out. It's like Necro's going to send illusions around to cause other problems, but... Roger, he can get himself a DD room, but doesn't really have an opening. Sylar, with the Aegis the Immortal, he wants to force the issue. That mid tower is not a healthy thing. So he can walk up, punch it a couple of times. Fortification of Alba from Na'Vi. That kick into the silence. Mirana has caught the BKB, wants to run back out of it. The Shrine is giving just enough life. Snako held that for Crystallize. Dragged back a long way to the side. Hold him in position. so VG.J can find the kill. General wants back in again. Here's your jump forward. Roger, too much damage. Is Sylar doing the work? The Clockwork Cogs splitting up the fight, giving Na'Vi that high ground wall, but maybe they jumped out too far or in too deep. Necro in the middle of this engagement still wants an opening. They've got Aegis and Cheese. VG.J haven't had to burn really anything apart from the life of the ES, but Crystallize is down. 100 seconds on the sideline. This could be it for Na'Vi. They're trying to kill off Necro. He burnt the Cheese. That's where the life came back from, but the Diffusal Blade charges, slowing him down so Roger can jump in deeper. Tricks of the trade. Necro almost out, but not out. Snako has the Fade Ball. The Blink is actually allowing him to be in the perfect position. Sylar is moving up for him now. He's the sole survivor of VG.J. Still with the Aegis, the Immortal, but no! It just ran out! It just timed out! He could have had a second fight with the Scotty switched in, but he'll die for a minute and a half with no way back to the world of the living.
Wow, I'm very surprised that Necrophos actually died in that fight. He didn't actually get the kill on Crystallize. That actually really hurt him. If he ended up getting the Reaper kill on Troll, we might already be at a GG because they killed Crystallize twice. But he wasn't able to survive. It was, I think, the Riki that was able to do the significant chunk of damage to him. That was a very well-placed tricks in a trade. And yeah, his damage was... Oh, looks like Fade might die here.
He's trying to... Okay, no.
2 gems! Oh my god.
Both of them are given to Fade. Move your TP scroll. You're good. Rolling Boulder and save both gems. Mistakes were made, Roger.
Well, he had a sick play at least in that last fight.
With that kill too, now Fade affords the 4-star, so they got that quick way to break the Lincolns on Mirana.
Cast range is crap though on that.
It is. Let's see it again.
This happened. This is after the BKB. Wait, this is much later in the fight. This is when he's about to die for the second time.
Yeah, because Scythe has already been committed.
Yeah. But Necrophos doesn't get a kill. Like, if he has regen going on during this Ghost Route, then he's in a much better shape. He has to pop the cheese, like try and bounce out of there ASAP, but can't run due to the mass diffusals coming out. And then look at this Tricks of the Trade coming out, just cleans up on 3 of the heroes.
And that's a dream for Snako. Got almost 1,200 gold for just that one kill. He's looking into buying an Aghanim Scepter now as well on the Rubik. But that timing of Aegis is just so unfortunate for him. Well, Aya's going to get caught out down the bottom lane. The rest of VG.J were moving down there, but they were coming from the northern side of the Dire jungle. So it took a long time to get there.
Surprised that he favors the Scotty so much. Scotty's a very atypical choice for a 6 item.
He's doing both. Like, he's got the MKB as the next thing in quick buy.
Yeah, MKB is owning him in the BKB the BKB man fight.
That's an interesting tricks. Jumps in, puts the charge onto Fate. Sylar waiting it out. There's initiation onto Necrophos. He needs some live Ghost Shroud protection. He's got the Death Pulse available, and Sylar, he's got the stun onto the Necro. There's your hit, but not enough time to regenerate back out of it, so Sylar has to blink away to safety. The Yules is keeping Troll Warlord out of this engagement, while Snako burnt dry from the illusions of Sylar. They're inside the base, buyback. Necro's back to World of Living. Fade hits on the Magnetize, even kicking Dendy deeper inside the Dire base. He won't be able to escape from this one. Even with that Moonlight Shadow, it will only allow the rest of Na'Vi to retreat south. But they did get the buyback out on Necro. That's the one advantage that Na'Vi really got out of this.
There was a stolen lasso too from Rubik. They actually almost killed the AM because of that.
They're hunting for more. Can they actually find that kill? Fade, rolling boulder forward. Crystallize has no real mana. He's got the Gem of True Sight, the one stolen from Fade. So Fade wants his property back. Thief. Sylar. Okay, the 4-star, and the Glimmer Cape to Snako. He keeps anti-mage away. The BKB from Crystallize being burnt once more. It's such a low cooldown, however, Crystallize. He'll get back to base, but Snako has sacrificed himself for this. The mid-ranked is being attacked. However, without the creep wave, it's rather problematic. And now the creep wave is coming. Problem solved.
Well, they're pretty sure Mirana's not going to buy back because it's 20 seconds up, so this Rax is probably going to die. I don't think it's worth Mirana's buyback at this point, unless they can get Necrophos kill. Necrophos has no buyback.
Can General buy time? Like, even if he hook shots in,
He's gonna die, just like game number 2. If he kind of walk up, he'll just get walked up and abyssed.
God, Silas pushing this so hard.
Yep, that's 2 racks in that 20 seconds. See, this is a really tough point. Do you really want to buy back on Rana, potentially end the game because you don't have buyback, or do you want to lose 2 sets of racks? That's a very tough call as a core player.
But life's going to get even harder. That's an Aghanim Scepter that just flew in for the Necro. So we are down to the 25-second Scepter cooldown time. And VG.J are forcing the issue. They want to fight this one. Ricky does have a basher. Did he? Oh, he just sold it. Hook shot him. They're going to go in onto Sylar. And we just have the Aegis, the Immortal with the lasso. A nice pullback of the Troll Warlord still inside the Storm. Yang's going to pull him back in again. So the side's committed. It was all about control time. Roger will join him in the afterlife. Dendy, the BKB is now wearing off. No more immunity. And VG.J can turn their attention towards him. The Mirana will fall. 3 heroes down without buyback, and it looks like, well, you can say don't give up, but Na'Vi give up. GG, VG.J Thunder will eliminate Na'Vi from the PGL Open, advancing through into the final game today as Na'Vi's run ends.
They should be happy with the game. That was very well played. I would say, especially coming out from Freeze, he was 0-2, and then he went godlike. I think the panel hit the nail on the head when they said that they just need too many items. Like, you had, like, he had BKB, Diffusal, and then he gets lassoed. Like, you need BKB, Lincolns, and Diffusal, and that's just way too much farm, way too late in the game to try and wait. And Na'Vi, they had to spend that much time farming. Yeah, then he got picked off, and yeah, Crystallize got picked off, but because they had to farm those items, they were put in this, like, pretty terrible position where, like, they left themselves open to pickoffs.
Yeah, it was... It seemed like what they asked themselves to do was just too much. So VG.J, terrific performance. I cannot wait to watch these guys play in the last game of today. Like, their coordination, maybe it was a little bit rough in the early part of the series, but there was some shines of absolute brilliance from VG.J.
They go for the big plays, man. What's not to like about them?
Yeah.
Maybe they first phase AM, but it still makes for pretty interesting games because the other team's like, we might be on the timer.
Well, I can't wait to see more. Of course, we are going to go into the second round as we finish the first round of eliminations, but there is 2 rounds of those today. More teams must go home. They'll be coming up in just a bit.